name's Ashley Rice and welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay guys, as you can obviously see, I am not where I normally am when I record, and you're gonna find out about that actually next Saturday. So you're gonna have to wait to find out until then, but you might see a few more videos of me in area around a similar space to this. But today, you guys, I am doing another one of my V2V vlogs, and I think I'm gonna kind of change up how these vlogs are doing. In the past, my V2V vlogs have been more about like talking about my transition to veganism. And you guys, the transition happened a lot faster than I thought it would. Like, I thought it was just gonna be a lot more difficult than it was, and it really has not been. Now, granted, I went from being vegetarian over to vegan and like had unintentionally been eating a lot of things that were already vegan and didn't even know it. And, you know, I think that's just, you know, I'm in a city that has a lot of vegan options, and so it's really easy for me to find. So the transition was just so much easier than I thought it was gonna be, which has been wonderful. But it also means that as I'm talking about my transition, I feel like it's already ended. Like, I feel comfortable calling myself a vegan at this point. I feel like I am a vegan. I feel like I have a lot more to learn about the vegan lifestyle. So because of that, I really wanted to kind of change up these vlogs a little bit more. They're still gonna be about going from being vegetarian to being vegan, but they're gonna be more about like myths that I thought about veganism and how that was proven wrong. And like, it's just gonna be a lot more wide open so that I can cover a lot more topics, because right now I just feel like there's not much more for me to talk about. About my personal journey, just because it happened a lot easier. However, I do have a vlog coming out shortly. I just gotta finalize some things, and I know I've been saying that in a few videos. It's been a lot more difficult to set up a vlog than I thought it was gonna be, and I've had a lot of technical issues recently that my husband's gonna help me out with. But I'm hoping that is going to come up by the end of August. And in that, I am planning on doing like going vegan challenge kind of blog kind of thing. Have I been saying vlog this whole time? Guys, I'm opening up a blog. This is a vlog. In the blog, I'm gonna do kind of like a going vegan challenge, and each month I'm gonna challenge people to just like change one thing in their lifestyle. And it's probably gonna start out more diet based, just because there is a lot of easy things that you can like switch over. So like one blog post might be about like, this month, let's find a non-dairy milk that you like, or let's find a vegan yogurt that you really like, or something like that. You know, like, it's going to be really tiny steps to veganism. So if that's something you're really interested in, I will keep you guys up to date on that. I'll probably talk about it in one of my V2V vlogs when that is finally up and I finally made the first post, just so you guys can kind of follow that blog series. Because I feel like I've like fully transitioned to a vegan, I feel like I've kind of plateaued in many senses. Like, as you're transitioning to veganism, you're making so many changes, you're learning so many things. And guys, granted, I still have so much more to learn, and I'll talk about that later. But I feel like the basic things that I need to switch over, I feel like I've done that. And you know, when I go grocery shopping, I know what I'm buying. Like, so there hasn't been much change in the last few months. I feel like I've kind of been very consistent, which is great. It's like a great place to be, but there's also like room for growth. And like, I want to see growth in my veganism lifestyle. But I feel like I'm at a point right now where I need to solidify the things that I've learned. And I still have a lot to learn about like issues, like animal abuse issues and animal rights issues. And eventually I'd like to become, and this word might scare some of you, don't worry, but eventually I'd like to become like a vegan activist. And when I'm thinking vegan activist, I'm not thinking like in your face, like shoving everything down your throat, because that's just not who I am as a person, and that's never gonna be who I am. Like, I'm just not that type of person. And, you know, that might work for some people, and some people need that like really like in your face approach. And so I'm not gonna change a fundamental part of me just so that I can become a certain type of activist. When I mean activist, you know, I mean a very compassionate activist, one who's willing to listen and just talk and like talk about concerns and like just spread truth. You know, not like falsifying anything or making it seem even more extreme than it already is, but just like sharing the truth. And there's actually something called the Cube of Truth, which is like a beautiful way of doing animal activism that I want to get into eventually. For where I'm at, like, I haven't decided my viewpoint on a ton of like issues outside of food. Like I know my stance on like beeswax and things like that, and that comes in a lot of other products that you might use in your life. But there's still like a lot of issues that how I have viewed them over my whole entire life has been out of a place of ignorance and not really fully understanding the whole entire situation. And so like obviously I need to work on that and like really solidifying my decision, because I'm a person that I'm going to do the research and I'm going to come up with my choice. You know, I might have people who are saying, oh, you should believe this or you should believe this, and like polar opposite sides, but like I'm going to do the research and I'm going to come up with my own opinion. That's just who I am, and I think everyone should do that. I think you should always do the research, and no matter what, like you can listen to people and see their viewpoints and be like, oh, I understand, that like makes complete sense. And once you've done the research and you've really solidified your viewpoint, then you stand up for that. So that's kind of what I believe. I think you should do the research. And so there's so many things that I still need to research, like horse carriages and I mean, the list is going to go on, zoos, like all this stuff. And I haven't really hit that part of veganism yet. Like I've really been trying to solidify, you know, how I'm going to change how I eat, how I do makeup, how I use certain household products. And I've really been focusing on that part of veganism. And I really want to solidify that and start to, you know, choose my viewpoints before I really get into animal activism. I feel like there's a lot of layers to transitioning to become vegan. And I feel like I've hit the most basic one, which is, you know, switching over how you eat, switching over your makeup, switching over some life at home use products, whatever I'm trying to say there. But I feel like now I need to do more research. I need to formulate my opinions on certain animal rights issues. And I feel like that's the kind of the next step as I am solidifying all of the choices that I've made. Like I want to, in this first stage of veganism, I'm going to call it, where I've dealt with my what I'm eating, what I'm using at home, what I'm using for makeup, what I'm using for clothing, you know, all that stuff, that whole group there, changing out the products I'm using. I feel like that's the first layer, and I really want to solidify that as I am starting to do what I think is the second layer, which is really deciding your viewpoints on animal rights issues. And then I feel like the third step is really stepping into animal activism and like standing up for animals and just spreading awareness. I think that's more the activism that I want to do, is I just want to spread awareness. I don't want to like shove down people's throats. And like the topic is hard, you guys, because it's not something we want to look at or necessarily see. And like, don't worry, like if I ever do any animal activism on my channel, I'm going to give you full warning that that's what it is. And especially if there's any like footage that is just hard to handle, which you guys, I doubt, unless I do like a vigil for animals that are being sent to slaughterhouses, which like part of me wants to do that, and sorry if that like seems really weird. You'll know when I'm doing that video, so if you don't want to see that, like you can skip it, it's fine. But in that case, like it's not like you're seeing them being killed, but it's basically what that is you like are giving these animals, generally, I think they do it a lot for pigs. You see them getting love from a bunch of people and like being fed water while they're like in these trucks being sent to the slaughterhouses. It's a very emotional thing, so I'm sure I'm going to be a wreck, but eventually I want to do something like that, and I might share that on my channel, and I might share eventually when I do the Cube of Truth. But like whenever I do that, I am going to warn you, because I know it's difficult and it's not easy, and that's not something you really want to look at or you want to see. So like you'll know, and if it's something that you're really intrigued to see and like learn a little bit about, awesome. If you're not quite there and you more want to look at the less gruesome side of my vegan transition, then like I'll have other stuff for you guys, so don't worry about it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like I've plateaued in this like first phase of veganism. Phasing, it sounds weird when I phrase it that way. And so I had to kind of rethink how I wanted to do my B2B vlogs, because I'm like, I'm not changing a ton in my life, and I don't want to be like, look at this one product I changed out, you know. I didn't really want them to become, I didn't want these vlogs to become that. So I think I'm just going to make them a lot more open-ended. And like, if you guys want me to talk about a certain aspect of transitioning to veganism, like if you've heard a myth and you want to talk about like my experience as I've done it, feel free, like ask me in the comments. I'd gladly do a video that's, you know, requested by one of you guys for my B2B vlogs. And with that said, I never ever want anyone who's watching these videos to feel like I'm pressuring you to become vegan. I feel like I have to say this in all my B2B vlogs, but I believe veganism is a personal choice that you need to make, and like I am definitely here to answer questions or walk beside you, or you know, just talk about it in a very kind way. I am not for being rude. Like if anyone leaves a rude comment that's just being rude, to be rude. Like, I'll probably I'll talk to you for a little bit, but like if you're just gonna be rude, I'm gonna delete your comment, just because that's not what this channel is about, and I don't want it to be that. But I am all for like healthy debate. That's fine. Like, if we want to have a healthy debate where we're just exchanging ideas and like really trying to understand the other person's viewpoint, like I am all for that. Like, feel free, leave that down in the comments below. That's totally fine. I think that's something we're not very good in society, so I am all for that. But if it gets heated, I'm either going to end the conversation and say maybe we should take a break from this, talk about it some other time, or if it's just becoming heated and you commenting are just getting really ruthless and mean, like I'm going to delete it. I just want to give you fair warning because I don't want my channel to be about that. But yes, I don't want you guys ever to feel like I'm pressuring you. I really want to get some truth out there, but at the same time, like I want to warn you just in case that's something that you cannot truly handle right now. I definitely think like it's good to know, but at the same time, I know it's hard. So yeah, never feel like I'm ever pressuring you. Like, you have the choice to turn off this video whenever you want to. So if it's getting to a point where you're just like, I can't do this, like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Come back to it if you ever feel like coming back to it, you know? Like, that's the person that I am, and that's never gonna change. But yeah, basically just came on here, guys, to tell you that I'm gonna change up my V2V vlogs a little bit. They're still gonna happen once a month, and that right now, I feel like I've plateaued and I can see where I wanna go in the future, but I feel like right now, I'm just solidifying the choices that I've made. A lot of the things that I'm doing with my veganism right now are mostly, you know, food, makeup, and products that you might use at home. Most of it is just product based at this moment, and how I hope to see my veganism growing in the future is by learning and solidifying like my decisions in certain animal rights issues, and really coming to a conclusion myself after a lot of research and talking to people and seeing their viewpoints. Because believe it or not, there are some heated topics in the vegan community. So I want to formulate my own opinion. I think that's very important to do. I hope you guys liked this vlog. Again, if there's anything you ever want to know about going vegan, like feel free, leave it in the comments. Either we'll talk about it down there, or I'll let you know that I'm going to do a whole video on it. Other than that, if you're new to my channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.